the Whiteout Warriors. Today we got the Winnipeg Jets with the 19th overall pick. Now let's get this straight. On paper, these guys have been one of the most lethal offenses in the last few years. Scheifele, Connor, Wheeler, Ehlers, used to be Line A, now PLD, and a host of other depth players. Used to have Roslovic as well, who's now a first-line center. Granted, Columbus Blue Jackets, but first-line center. But they've never really been a force scoring-wise from the back end. They've always had the identity of having tough, big defensemen. Guys like Tyler Myers, Dustin Byfuglien, having guys now like Stanley, Dylan, DeMello, even to a certain extent Schmidt. The most they've had is Neil Pionk and Josh Morrissey this year. Let's not forget, Josh Morrissey was not always like that. He used to be more of a defensive defenseman. His career high was 37 the year before, then this year he got 76, so he had a major turnaround. So before that, it was only Neil Pionk. And all love to Neil Pionk, he is not good enough to be a number one guy offensively as a defenseman. I think it's interesting how this is the exact same situation I find the Seattle Kraken in. Kraken have guys that'll break your nose in like Alexiak and Borgen, and other shutdown guys like Dunn, Larson, Soucy, and Schultz. And although Dunn did have much the same story as Morrissey and broke out heavily this year, with as lethal of a scoring lineup as they have, they need at least two activating defensemen that can set up this fantastic offense and make them as destructive as possible. This is almost the exact same video I've made about the Seattle Kraken. So if I missed any holes there, I may fill it in here. If I missed any holes here, I may fill it in there. Go check out that one too. But the point is, the Winnipeg Jets have also, much like the Kraken, set themselves up beautifully offensively for the future. Ehlers, Connor, Perfetti, Lucius, Lambert, Chibrikov, Barron. Let's not even forget about McGroarty. Oh lord, this team is just looking filthy offensively. But I can't say so much for the defense when it comes to the offensive side. Now, although Morrissey did get 76 points this year, 16 goals and 16 assists. Let's take a look at that. He was a prime activator for their elite offense. With such a fantastic offense, they need to be activated from the low as well as up top. When you have guys who can activate these elite goal scorers from anywhere in the offensive zone, they will be like sharks just swimming in the offensive zone there, waiting for the activation, waiting for someone to drop something in that water, and they attack it. Because with the speed and fluidity that these guys can skate, they'll be able to be activated from anywhere. So you need a defenseman that can do much the same. Now, although let's say, yeah, Morrissey's doing great right now, he's 28. Don't get me wrong, still has a lot of time left, but you do need a second guy who can do that. Much like I said in the Seattle Kraken video, with such a good offense, you should at least have one player out there on the ice at all times that can activate their offense at any point. Pionk is a fantastic offensive defenseman, but he is more a scorer himself. He gets the puck to the net and gets it right around that mixer. And although, yes, that is fantastic, getting it to the mixer and getting your guys crashing to the net is great for a swarm of sharks, but their offense for the future can score from anywhere, so you do also need a playmaker who can activate them anywhere in the zone. Here is the solution. One of my favorite players in the entire draft. Mark my words right now, this kid is going to be a game changer no matter where he goes. If he gets more muscle, he will have a harder shot and he will be stronger on the puck. And if he has that, there is nobody who's going to stop this kid. You dangle this good of an offense in front of him, he will make every team pay for passing him up. Mikhail Gulyayev. 5'10", 170-pound defenseman, playing for Avangard in the KHL. Best skater in the draft. Best skater in the draft. Unbelievable edges, great acceleration, quick, fluid, fantastic balance. I can't say enough about his skating. He moves like it's a dance. And when he's dancing all over the whole team. This is what the Jets need. They need a guy who is so fast, so elite, and elusive on his edges that no one can fully cover or contain, who's constantly changing angles and attention towards him and his teammates, who can absolutely scramble defenses. And with 2 goals, 25 assists for 27 points in 24 games as a defenseman that didn't even get a lot of time because he's a kid, potential's through the roof. As he develops more muscle and a harder shot, he'll be such an elusive threat, and his game-breaking playmaking ability will activate everyone who plays with him. Sorry, I'm so excited to watch this kid play in the NHL, and if these guys pick him, they will be the best decision they've made in a long time. But as always, we quickly explore other options. Lucas Dragicevic from the Tri-City Americans. High offensive IQ, he does need to work a lot on his defensive abilities. But with 15 goals, 60 assists for 75 points in 68 games as a defenseman, this kid can solve any franchise's offensive defenseman issues. The only issue is he really needs to work on his defense. He only recently switched over to being a defenseman, as he talked about in some interviews. So he's got a lot to learn, but I genuinely think that he is going to be a player that can work on himself and is willing to work on himself if he's the number one guy on a team. He's an exciting player to watch as well, so I keep an eye on that kid as well. But more than likely, the way it's looking, Gulyayev is going to be available for the Jets. So with the 19th overall pick, this might be their guy. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and comment the next team you want to see.